Good evening, everyone. We welcome you all for the 36th year annual celebration of Prashant Yogashraya. We would have liked to have the celebration with you all being present physically with us. However, good evening, everyone. We welcome you all
शुभं करोति कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्मा दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपो हरतु मे पापम् सन्ध्यादीपनमोऽस्तु ते भो दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वम् ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः आरोग्यं देहि पुत्रांश्च मतिं स्वच्छां हि मे सदा रवेरस्तं समारभ्य यावत् सूर्योदयो भवेत् यस्य तिष्ठेत् गृहे दीपः तस्य नास्ति दरिद्रता शुभं करोति कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते
ओंकारबिन्दुसंयुक्तं नित्यं ध्यायन्ति योगिनः कामदं मोक्षदं चैव ओंकाराय नमो नमः। योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचा मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोत् तं प्रबलं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि आवाह पुरुषाकारं शङ्खचक्रासिधारिणं सहस्रशिरसं सुश्वेतं प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिं प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिं प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिं प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिं प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिं गुरुब्रह्मा गुरुविष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः हरि ओम्। Thank you all for coming. It's a great pleasure for me or for us to celebrate Prashant Yogashraya annual function. Usually we celebrate in a big way with a very good dinner. So this time we are missing all those things. But nice to see you all. First, I would like to thank Guru Nandini Mehta. She's not just a practitioner of yoga, she teaches dance in her own company called Nadam Group. She's very kind, very friendly all the time. Whenever we ask her, she's ready to give performances in our center, in our institute, in our Ramnagar center too. And even today, she gave us 30 minutes a program. Thank you, Nandini. Thank you, Murali Mohan, for giving us the wonderful dance performance. I thank all the artists who performed today. Usually I talk on the subject, but today I feel like talking about how the Institute or Prashant Yogashraya came up. It's long back, like I started in an institution nearby, around 10 minutes walk from here. And I was teaching a different style of yoga just before meeting the system, before meeting Guruji. It was a combination of certain things like asana, pranayama, chanting of mantras. So it's a typical, we may call it a combination of Hatha yoga and mantra yoga or kundalini. So I was initiated by that because I was a asthmatic patient. I had the asthma. So that's I was asked by one of my seniors when I used to be in a chartered accountant company, what you call CPA. So there, those days, never used to have any computer or calculators too. It was we always a big luxury books. So I used to sneeze a lot. Before that itself, I used to sneeze a lot, like 40 times when I wake up, and then in the rainy season, I used to get an asthmatic attack. So that's why I was told by one of my seniors in the company to join a yoga class. So I came there. When I came there, there was, because it was a 3 months course, so the organizer said you had to come after 3 months. So then I went, after 3 months, I went there. And the teacher took me to the, his teaching. And those time we had, after 3 months, he used to give me a test or an exam. So 5 asanas optional, and 5 asanas that the teacher will tell what to do. So I did that, and then I was given a a good marks. I was, I think, second in that exam. So I was, until then, I was a very dull. So no one thought that I become something like this. So I thought I'll be nothing in the society. And so just because of the practice of yoga and connecting with people, I am what I am now. So coming to that, then after that, I continued practicing. So he took me to many demonstrations, and then I was, introduced as a great practitioner, practice 108 Surya Namaskars, and in a snap of a finger, I can go to Samadhi. So that was the encouragement on the platform. So I used to sleep on the platform, and I used to ask, the spectators, so can you give a pen? So people, if someone used to give a pen, and he used to scratch my feet. So there's no reflex action, no repulse there. So people, I used to think, man, I was so innocent, of course, ignorant. I thought that is also a part of Samadhi. So, but I used to hear everything. I was not at all, unconscious or subconscious. I was completely conscious of what was happening. So then I used to do certain asanas, which is, I used to shake because of my weakness. So but my teacher said, you're in a good path, your kundalini is awakening. So when the abdomen, there's no strength in the abdomen, when you raise your leg, definitely the body shakes. So that was the weakness, but I was not knowing. I thought that's all called Vajroi Mudra. So I'm doing that, I'm shaking. So after a couple of months, I now used to shake because I developed my strength with practice. But still I used to shake. It's a fake shaking of my abdominal muscle like this. So then I used to get dizziness because 108 Surya Namaskara in 23 minutes. So fortunately, so the teacher who used to teach me, his name is John Kirami. So he went abroad to teach in European countries. Then there was no other teachers to give a class. So the organization, so which used to see me in my demonstrations, so they asked me, can you give a class? I said, no, I don't know how to give a class. No, the ladies, there are a couple of 8 or 10 ladies, and they want to learn with you. You need not even teach, just you practice, they will also follow you. So this was the deal. So I practiced, and then people used to follow without any hesitation. So I was hardly maybe 20 years of age. So there's no inhibition. So people learned in that sense. And then I met a great another teacher, Ajit Kumar. So he was taught by Guruji B.K. Saingal, then Guruji Pattabhi Joyce, and one more teacher from Nagpur. So he learned all the techniques, and then he knew me what I practice, and he invited me for his practice. He used to come every Saturday, 3 hours rigorous practice. So whatever what you call the postures, like a difficult posture, I learned from him. So all that Ekapada, Galavasana, Galavasana, Kaundinyasana. So even with him, I went for two or three demonstrations. So before that, I got a book from one of the organizers again on Lighten Yoga in Kannada, Yoga Deepika. So I used to watch that, but he said, read that and give it back. To frankly speaking, I never read it on Yoga Deepika, Lighten Yoga. Just saw the photo for a couple of days. So I was fascinated with only 2 poses. One is Nakrasana, because in that photo, the palm is lifted, the foot is lifted, the body is in the air. So I thought that's completely, it's a miracle. So I used to try and to fall down all the time. Then there was one more pose called Yoga Dandasana, where we take the feet to the armpit. So I also tried on my nail of the toe issue, scratch my armpit. So this is the beginning of my practices. Then when Ajit Kumar came give class, then I came to know how to do it. So I'm always grateful for Ajit Kumar whenever I practice. And then at the end of 1979, that great Guruji B.K. Saingal stood there, and then I was asked to give class. So when he came to the class, and then there was no one there. They had, as I said, I just asked, and I was so proud. Okay, the great man is here. I have seen his book, so let me just practice. So I stood up and asked them to do Uttanasana, and then Guruji took over and gave class. After the class, So near the door, so he called me and said, "What's your name?" I typically in my way I did namaskara, and then with my pravara, or with lineage I belong, and then after doing namaskara, he said, "Hey, you never give class." I said, "I don't know how to give class." So I had been asked to give class. That's why I stood up, volunteered, and gave class. Then he said one sentence. So you have to come down to student level in teaching. I never understood that when he said that. So I thought my head is to go to my shin, or my palm is to go to the floor. So if a beginner is there, I should control my flexibility, not just that the student will not get fear. But it took years and years. It took almost 20 years to understand what it is. So that's the first time I met him. And then I went to Pune with 4 people, with my teacher, Ajit Kumar, plus Sri Mata, and then one more lady who was here, and then he went to United States, and then she was the first lady who hosted me in University in Washington, D.C. So her name is Nanda. She passed away a couple of years ago. So that's the background of my learning initially. Then 1984, I gave up the institute because of so many reasons. So I never had any, a freedom to teach. So I had to follow a syllabus. So when they told me to follow a syllabus, I was not in, because it's not the system what I practice or what I used to teach. Then I gave up. So I gave up, and I thought of not doing anything. So being at home is where to teach. So the home is not mine. It's my the great mother-in-law. So in the mother-in-law's place, I used to for a week I just kept quiet. So one of the senior lady, her name is Suvarna Benkappa, a very popular elderly doctor, a famous pediatrician. So his wife and a couple of ladies came and said, "Sir, don't give up. Just please let's give class in your home." So in a small place, I started teaching. Even my teacher, Ajit Kumar, said, "Please don't give up. Though you left the institute, don't their organization. Please do start teaching." So that's why it started in a small place, in the room, in a small place. So then I used to give a private class for an industrialist. So he just gave an offer. "Sir, you do one thing. You give the class in the early morning. So in my place, I'm going to build a place for you, and then we will. Evening, I use it for my shuttlecock to play for the sport, shuttlecock, badminton." So I came and gave that to my family, my mother-in-law. She asked one interesting question: "Why there? Why not in our place?" So that's what they thought. So from her, it came from her mouth. So then it became the Prashant Yogashraya. So it's fortunate that end of 84 we started September 5th with a beautiful, wonderful practitioner with me. So without them, I don't think I would have even think of having a institute like this. Wonderful practitioner. Even now I can remember them because of their practice. So fortunately, what was happening was I was really flexible, backward bend, forward bend, balancing, twisting, everything I used to do. But the group there, one used to do a backward bend, other was in a forward bend, other might have been a stretching, or maybe with balance, not in total. So people used to invite me for my demonstration. I used to give demonstration. They never used to get the chance to give a demo. So and then when we thought of having our own thing, so before that, our neighbors, they are very friendly. They said they had what they call the terrace, open terrace. So they asked us, we can use it, no problem. So that also we used for a couple of months when we were constructing. So even there, because to get an approval from the government, it is not school, it takes months and months. But we had a wonderful government officer. He was a commissioner for commercial tax. So he used to come to my class, and then he said, "I'll get you, don't worry." So in a month, in 3 weeks, we got the plan sanctioned. So we started. So there, I never had any money in that sense. So I left the job. I left the job in the sense I left where I used to teach, and what they were giving was, it was nothing, but it's a great thing that my wife, so she supported the whole life. So she supported, because of her earning, I was able to continue the teaching. So when I thought of doing this, so I was one more student who was a contractor. We started just beginning to start doing work. So I went to his house early morning, said, this is the plan and we want to construct. He said, don't worry. So you labor work from me, you just give material and then construct. So when this came to know that I never had money, these few people, the couple, at least 2-3 people, they from their salary they gave little money. I think it was 10,000 rupees with me. So I went to the contractor and gave. And the greatest help was from a philanthropist. He runs a restaurant in the Majestic area. His name is Lakshmanan Alse. So he was so kind. So the moment he saw me, he said, I know you don't ask money. I know you need that money. So when you come to the restaurant, just visit me. I know that you want money. I don't even give it to your hand. I'll put it in your pocket. Whenever possible, you give it to me. So that's a wonderful thing. So I used to go there, he used to give me a coffee. No, badam milk, because I have coffee there. And sometimes even something to eat. Then he used to put money and then give it to the contractor to work. And again, my brother-in-law, that is my wife's brother-in-law, Shivananda, he was in a commercial tax officer too. He also helped in getting some concession to get some window grill and all those things. So that's how it started. So we started, and then we wanted to say what happened to Guruji. So we all went, Nasal Srimata went, and we requested, Guruji, I'm starting on my own. This institute will be ready in the month of July. So I said, okay, I will come. So then he said one thing that's it. Now you have a freedom to teach, so you can teach whatever you want. So that's the first one. So Geeta ji said one more thing, and I said that I'm starting on my own. So when you or your wife is teaching, so don't ask anyone to give class, only you two. So that's why even now we share the class. We don't give to anyone, because again, that came from her. There are many stories behind that. I don't want to disclose here. Maybe in a private conversation, I can tell what does it mean. So then Prashant ji, I met him, and then I told him, Prashant ji, I'm studying. So he said, as a teacher, so go precisely on time. For example, if I have a class at 6:15 morning, 6:15, if the class is over 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, come down. Don't stay there, because people want to talk to you all the time. That takes your energy. So these 3 principles I try to follow. And then when Guruji accepted our invitation, so he came, and there was a ritual function. Then there was a 3 days class, and one was a public function. That was 27 July. So 3 days before he came, and then we had a class. And then we thought that he's going to class. He said, no, I'm not going to give class. Just I will help teachers how to give class. And that's why my classes are, when I give a workshop, I don't call it workshop, I call it yoga festival. So every day is a celebration of yoga. So that's why we call it yoga festivals. This is how it came, our institute, Prashant Yogashraya. When we started our practice, teaching, it was 3 rupees. I don't know how to convert to any euros or dollars, 3 rupees. Then we made it 5, then make it 8, then we made it 10. So when Guruji came for the inauguration, some of the senior student by coming in card, so he said, Guruji, you know how much Arun charges? He said, no. So he said 10 rupees. In public, he said, you have to respect your teacher. When you go to a restaurant, you pay the teacher, you pay the dosa 20 rupees. That time 20 rupees in 1985. So my class became 20, those are 8. So I was charging 20 rupees for almost 6 days in a week. So every day. So people used to come. So never had a bank account, and people used to get 20 rupees. I'd put it in a pocket and give it and leave it in the puja room. So slowly we developed, and I was very fortunate to have people like you, not just in Bangalore, everywhere throughout, wherever I travel. You helped me a lot to grow up in myself, not just what you call financially, to grow up with the knowledge, because I learn from you. From each and every day, I learn from you. So you are my, what you call, inspirer. So then again, so in 3-4 years back, we had a big center in Ramanagara. We call it Prashant Yoga Center Ramanagara, PYRC. So we wanted to keep some other name, but Srimata said, no, this is brand, Prashant is going on well. Better to keep the same name. So I thought Prayoga or something, because I experiment, so I thought, no. So then we named it Prashant Yoga Ramnagara Center. So there's a facility where people come, because when the people come here, they don't have, because there's no proper accommodation here. So nowadays we do get, but a little expensive. So that's why we thought of having a center there. People can come and stay and learn from me and be with me, knowing certain things. Personally, it's different from in a group, learning in a big group. So this is how we, Prashant Yogashraya, came up from 85 until today. So first, yes, of course, I never wanted to do any online classes. There was demand, not now. On 10 years back, one of my greatest yoga hosts are gentleman, very friendly. His name is Gurdeep. He has a big company called Valankin Software. So he used to host me in US. He is the first official host by inviting me on a visa called P3 for the artist. So that's why I was connected to him. And he said many times, years ago, 10 years ago, that I'll make all the other arrangement. I'll pick 3 to 4 cameras and we'll let it go online. I said, no, Gurdeep, I don't want, because I lose my privacy. Because you know how I connect with humor. Sometimes humor will be not good to go online. So that's why I don't want to do anything online. But the situation in the universe is completely different. So again, the great people, my kids, that Arush and Swati, so they said, you have to. Yes, of course. Srimata said, you have to. But I listened to those two. And then there was great, I got a student sitting always in front of me, watching me with his camera, Umesh. So I thank everyone. I thank especially all my students, all my hosts, all my guests, all my fans, all my well-wishers. Thank you all. Thanks.
We will now release.
Thank you, Swati Arush, for the day.
Thank you, Pa.
Just wait, don't go away. Don't go away. You have to wait for a demonstration, an old demonstration by maybe, I don't know, maybe 1993.
95.
In the same Prashant Yogashraya as a venue. You are going to watch it. It's again, should be around 15 to 20 minutes of demonstration. And they have picked up, these two kids have picked up the video, and it is muted. So because I spoke in my language, so most of them may not be able to understand. That's why there's a mute. If possible, I try to explain what it is. Okay, thank you. Please be seated. In fact, that was one of my, someone suggested that title also for my book, Be Seated, instead of experiment and experience on the chair, the yoga way. Just wait for a few seconds, it's on. Yeah. So this is Mandalasana. I'm trying to do Mandalasana in Sarvangasana. So see the placement of the palm there. That's very much important, because the rotation, Guru used to say that rotation is good for kidneys. So you should say it's a natural kidney dialysis. Even I have watched him teaching in Pune with his hand, getting the same movement. So I think, so this is a Supta Konasana, Halasana. Then I do Padmasana there. And then this is Parshva Urdhva Padmasana. So I do very fast because you get a demonstration. This is Urdhva Pindasana. See the placement again. Where the palm is the fingers. Because when I keep the brick in Svetabandha, I do explain. See that? Not this one. When we take both the palm there. Here you have to support the buttocks, otherwise you lose balance. I was explaining that is Chakrasana, because people say Urdhva Dhanurasana as Chakrasana. So I think that I'm explaining that. So Dhanurasana can't be Chakrasana. So I think I show that which is Vipesh Chakrasana. This is Urdhva Dhanurasana. So that is Vipesh Chakrasana. That's the explanation. The gentleman behind me there, front of me there, right side, was a very popular movie star called Srinath. This is the title of the Pranaya Raja, romantic hero. All the students here gathered for one function, I think. So they did Nittu Srinivas Rao, son, Subarna, Vishwanath Rao there. The minister there, M. Chandrasekhar. Forgot this gentleman's name. This few people still come to class. The lady there sitting to the right side. The black sari there, so some few foreigners there. This is Urdhva Bakasana, I think, or Kukutasana, I don't know. It is Urdhva Bakasana. Now Parshva Bakasana. So people call arm balances. Parshva Bakasana. And there's an idea. So I fall back like this. First is, of course, Guruji used to practice like this, that is balancing and a backward bend. I also copied. The simple reason is, so maybe the next sequence may be backward bends. This is Urdhva Kukutasana. Parshva, no, Galavasana. I've dropped. So this I used to do around, not this one, that Vipesh Chakrasana. Every Tuesday around 108 times. And then relax in Karnapidasana chair. I gave up because of my shoulder injury due to a massage. This is Ekapada Galavasana. I think last class we did this. Ekapada Galavasana. One leg Padmasana. I think it's got stuck. No, yeah. Now guess what it is? Bakasana. Sorry, Bhujapidasana. Sorry, that is Bhujapidasana. So next is Ashtavakrasana, all balancing, followed by backward bend, I think. This is Viparita Dandasana. the chest going to the wall, the leg active there. You can see the calf muscle stretching. I don't remember what I'm saying there. Maybe I'm just taking my breath to do some poses by talking, because talking is exhalation. So the difference between these type of asanas and now is a little different. That's why we call it evolution. So now I do practice some of these things, but my idea of asana, practice completely changed. So that is not Sthira Sukhamasana. So very intense for the back, for the muscles, for the circulation. So I changed my in that sense to understand what is the yoga practice, asana practice. And then and if you see certain postures that I don't get the alignment. For example, some backward bend, like Ekapada Rajakopotasana. So now, though I'm lost my flexibility, but I get the alignment now than that time. Ekapada Rajakopotasana. That is Ekapada Rajakopotasana. So you can see it's not in alignment. See there. Where is my ribs? Where is my chest? If I do now, so my ribs will be parallel to each other. I may not take the head backward. Even if you observe, the arms are going up. So now I can't do that now. I can't do like that. I had to do, now I got it. But still I may lean to the side. See, I went to the left. So it seems to coming to the side. So I can't cheat now. So that's the difference. In fact, JFOS study, we practice a little backward bend, all these three. Ekapada, 1, 2, and 3. So now the position and the flexibility is, I can touch the toes. And with a great difficulty, sometimes I can hold the ankle, but I can't take my neck that much back. So because of that severe accident, I should call that accident, that's it. So this is Ekapada Rajkona 3. The third, it says relax. So am I relaxing there? And you observe the change. So in all the posture, my eyes are open. But if I do now practice, my eyes will be closed. So that's the major difference. So this is Ekapada Repeat Dandasana, a little difficult posture to practice. So the more we do, the more we get this type of flexibility. No, I can't do all this. In a sense, I can't go here and there. So that's the difference. We might have finished backward bend, maybe. No, one more thing. Okay. Or maybe I may do Chakravandasana. So I catch hold of both the ankles. Chakravandasana. Because I can't go wrong. I feel if that's the position, I would have taken my thigh and knee inside. So I'm correcting that gentleman there now. You know who is the best critic? The lady who's sitting beside me is the best critic. Padangushta Dhanurasana. This is also a little difficult posture. Looks easy, but not so easy. On Guruji's 80th birthday, we presented this, gifted to him this in a metal memento. That's a really good one. Hard one. Now I need rest. And sweating. So there's a technique. When I'm tired, I feel like talking. So I can get back my rhythm. Supta, Parsha Supta Parangushtasana. Then this is the second variation there, which we did, I think, yesterday or day before in our festival class. Parivrita Janushi Shasana. Something I'm telling, I don't remember. So I need to, now if you observe, I'm giving the, I'm talking. But in my earlier days of my practices, demonstration, I never used to. So someone used to be from behind give the name of the asana I used to do. So when Guruji came for 70th, for his 70th birthday here, in Bangalore, we celebrated. So I gave a demonstration, and then we were going in a bus to Hampi. So when we were going to the Hampi, someone asked, how was Arun's presentation? He said, it's very good, but if you ask me, I will definitely give some suggestion. So I was sitting there, but closed eyes. So he might have thought I will not listen to him. So next day, early morning, I went to his room and said, Guruji, how was it? Any suggestions? He said, you are tall. What I say, tall. So you have to be always in front of the platform, not in the middle of the back. So those times should exactly be at the back, in the middle of the platform. So I learned that. Then he said, it always looks like a practice, never look like a demonstration. Always you have to connect with the audience. So then that's why now I changed to always a talk. So this is my called Prashant Yoga years back. So you can see the flooring, the dyes, everything has changed now. This is, I think I'll go for Trivikramasana, I think. I'm explaining to keep that back on floor. To do Trivikramasana, people do that. I've seen that. So that's, I think I'm saying that not to do like that. So this is Trivikramasana. Sukta Trivikrama. Sariya Mara. This is Trivikrama Gurata. Tivyotara Gurata. Ekapada Shishasana. Then Rujikasana. Forgot the name of this thing. This is Kala Bhairavasana. This is Chakorasana. Do I do both the sides? No. Then can be Hanumanasana. Yeah. So again, this 2 days back we did Hanumanasana. They think this is I go from Adho Mukha jumping, I think. No, I go slow. Okay. So this is Hanumanasana. Stretching the groin. So if I do now, I stretch the left side more than the right. So then I'm saying people cheat like this. Because I had done this like this when I didn't know how to do it. That's it. This is Samakonasana. Pressing the outer edge of the feet to go to the pose. Yoga Nidra. In fact, we used to do wrong. So you should stay in this pose for 15 minutes. This one and Yoga Danda both. So yogis coach. In fact, for this body, I had to thank my grandmother and mother. So I said about my mother-in-law and my wife. So my mother is the greatest lady for me, for even all our siblings. A lot of patience, innocence. This is Yoga Dandasana. I think this also we did. Because in the early ages, so children were given massage with a special type of made of a ghee. So there they give many action, many movements. So I end with this Uttanasana. So thank you for watching this. Namaskar.
We would like to thank the students of Nadam group led by Guru Vidushi Nandini Mehta and Murli Mohan for a wonderful performance this evening. We would also like to thank Sairam for helping us convert the archived videos. We would like to thank Umesh for his constant support for online classes as well as today's event. Finally, we would like to thank one and all who has joined us today in this online event and helped us celebrate better. Thank you, one and all. Thank you. Have a good evening.